Today from the War on Terror smackdown, some are questioning why the White House would bother responding to a former vice president with a sitting vice president. As you know, on Sunday, the White House dispatched Vice President Joe Biden to the airwaves after learning that his predecessor, Dick Cheney, was booked to speak about things like terror. And things got ugly fast. Here's a sample from Mr. Biden on Meet the Press.
Do you think Dick Cheney is speaking out and being so critical of the president and the administration so publicly?
I don't know. I'm not going to guess about his motive. All I know is he's factually, substantively wrong on the major criticisms he is asserting. Why he's insisting on that, he either is misinformed or he is misinforming.
Joining us now is the author of Courting Disaster, How the CIA Kept America Safe and How Barack Obama is Inviting the Next Attack. Marc Thiessen also served as chief speechwriter to President George Bush. Hi, Marc.
Hi, Megan. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Well, the title of your book makes clear whose side you were on in the Biden-Cheney dust-up. But we want to look to you for a bit of context just on some of the back and forth. And, you know, if you can sort of keep it to the facts as we know them, as without sort of partisan spin, as best you can, we'd appreciate it. First of all, you had Vice President Biden coming out and saying Dick Cheney is entitled to his opinion, but he's not entitled to rewrite history. And he came out and said, look, the Obama administration has done a lot when it comes to the war on terror. In fact, perhaps more even than the Bush administration. And he said the following, Mark, I want to get you to react. Take a listen.
Sure.
We've eliminated 12 of their top 20 people. We have taken out 100 of their associates. We've sent them underground. They are, in fact, not able to do anything remotely like they were in the past. They are on the run. I don't know where Dick Cheney has been.
All right, so my question to you is that a true statement?
Well, they are killing them with predators, that's true. But listen, they always talk about what they inherited. They inherited al-Qaeda on the run from the Bush administration. We had captured and killed a number of top leaders. We had gotten through the CIA interrogation program. We had stopped a series of attempted terrorist attacks, including one on our consulate in Karachi, our Marine camp in Djibouti, an effort to replicate 9/11 in London, and a plan to fly an airplane into Heathrow, into London's library, Los Angeles' Library Tower. So they inherited, you know, they always talk about what they inherited. They never mentioned that they inherited al-Qaeda on the run. And so the fact that they're killing them with predators is a good thing. The fact that there's a surge going on in Afghanistan is a good thing. And Vice President Cheney gave them credit for that. So they never talk about what they always talk about the mess that they inherited. They didn't inherit a mess when it came to the war on terror.
Well, the other dust-up that Mr. Cheney and Mr. Biden had was over military commissions. And this is something I know you know a thing or two about. You know, the bottom line is right now we're looking at trying this Abdul Muttalib, this guy who, the attempted Christmas Day bomber, in federal court, they say, although there's talk about perhaps switching him over to a military commission. And the criticism from Republicans has been, that's insanity to even consider trying him in federal court. He should have gone to a military commission, should have been handled by the military to begin with. Then you had a lot of Democrats coming out and saying, hello, pot, meet kettle. You guys, Republicans, when you were in charge, had a guy who got on an airplane and tried to bomb it, Richard Reed, and where did you push him? Into federal court, not a military commission. Richard Reed. Here's Dick Cheney talking about that.
First of all, I believe he was not tried. He pled guilty. They never did end up having a trial. Secondly, when this came up, as I recall, it was December of '01, just a couple of months after 9/11. We were not yet operational with the military commissions. We hadn't had all the Supreme Court decisions handed down about what we could and couldn't do with the commission.
Okay, but Mark, military commissions were in existence then, so is the former vice president's defense a good one?
No, he's absolutely right. This was a couple of weeks after the 9/11 attacks, and the president had in fact signed an executive order creating the military commissions, but they were not up and running, and we hadn't clearly yet determined. This was just a few weeks after 9/11, when we were still in the early days. I mean, the Taliban hadn't even completely been eliminated, hadn't even fallen in Afghanistan entirely by that time. So there was early months of the war on terror, and since then we established a number of policies to keep the country safe. We established a system, we established Guantanamo Bay as a place to take and interrogate terrorists. We established a CIA interrogation program, and we also started taking people like Jose Padilla, for example. It was a much better example of a guy who was captured here. He was sent by KSM to blow up apartment buildings in the United States, and he was detained as an enemy combatant and interrogated, and he gave nothing to the FBI when he was first questioned before he was put in the military commissions in the criminal system. And then once he was put in the hands of the military, he started giving up intelligence.
But you know, Mark, there's been a lot of criticism of military commissions from both sides, saying, look, these are not the best venues for trials. Even former Bush White House lawyers have come out and said they're a little sketchy. The criminal justice system we have in this country is sound and can take care of these criminals. Why not trust it?
Well, first of all, we've had military commissions since George Washington, so this is not something that George Bush invented. Second of all, I don't know who the Bush administration officials who are saying that are, but the military commissions were under, the reason they keep coming out with these lies from the administration. Only 3 people were ever tried by military commission. The reason is because the left-wing lawyers, including Eric Holder's law firm, Covington and Burling, were challenging the military commissions and trying to free these terrorists through habeas cases for 8 years. So it was only until 2008 that we had any military commissions. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, when he was finally brought before his military commission, he offered to plead guilty. He said he wanted to go straight to execution, and Eric Holder and Barack Obama said, no, Mr. Mohammed, why don't we give you a platform in New York where you can spread your jihadi philosophy? This is going to make the O.J. Simpson trial, if it happens in New York or in a regular courtroom, look like a traffic court hearing. This Khalid Sheikh Mohammed disappeared for years. He was in CIA custody, then he was in Guantanamo. He's going to make this dramatic reemergence on the international stage, and he's going to be a hero to the jihadists. He's going to use the trial to put America on trial. Why is that helpful to our national security?
Well, and we don't know where in fact he will wind up being tried at this case, because the administration just hasn't said. Marc Thiessen, all right, well, I guess you had a bit of a bias there, sir, but it was disclosed, and we'll get the other side on just as soon as they agree. Thank you so much, Mark. We appreciate it.